Spoken lately, I haven't thought about flying for a long time. I haven't dreamed of that moment when I was alone above the clouds for a long time. I've dreamed of waking up in a room surrounded in blue and green grass for more years than I could dream of remembering. I haven't walked back into the past or scratched on the doors of my origins, where it all came from, since I held up that cape for the last time.
Return to Cape Town 10th Year Anniversary Edition is a revised version of Andy N's first poetry book. The book can be purchased from Amazon and it contains numerous additional material.
Spoken Label. Hi, it's Andy N from Spoken Label. Thank you today for streaming or downloading another episode of Spoken Label. Spoken Label was originally set up on beginning of 2016 and as of speaking has currently nearly 300 sessions. The full archive is available on Spoken Label bandcamp.com. Although it is available for free for stream and download if you wish, I am always grateful for any sort of kind of donation to enable me to keep the running costs of this podcast going. And enjoy. Take care. Bye bye. Spoken Label.
Hey guys, Andy and Spoken Label back in the house yet? What day are we on today? Tuesday. So it's been a long week already. I've had 2 job interviews this week already. I've got another 2 tomorrow. So my head's going to be fried by Friday. But anyway, listen, it's what it is. So anyway, we're over to a wonderful part of the world today for, let's call it a special podcast. Not because the lady I've got to be special, because she'll kill me for saying that. But yeah, we're over today to talk about a festival actually, and one of the ladies that's involved with it up in the New Mills area. We've got the fantastic Abi Williams with us today, talking about, among other things, the wonderful One World Festival, which is up in a couple of weeks' time in July, which me and Amanda will be reading at. So I can't avoid, it's great to get somebody on board that's involved in the festival. Abi, before we get onto that, I think we better tell people a little bit about yourself, because you're not just involved in One World Festival, are you? So tell us a bit about yourself as a person, where your creativity came from before we start.
Wow, that's a big one, that.
Right, I'm timing you. I'm timing you.
Thanks for letting me be on your podcast. It's brilliant. Right, so my creativity sort of burgeoned, I suppose, from being brought up in a very creative household. Yeah, my mum and dad were not professional musicians or anything, but we're both very musical, really into poetry, music, art that you see on walls, performance art, the whole thing that is art. So I suppose from being very tiny, I mean, I had a ukulele when I was 2.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I think I started writing my own poems when I was about 6 or 7. And then I was thinking about my love of poetry. And there was this beautiful poetry book I had when I was little called The Children's Garden of Verse by Robert Louis Stevenson. And I loved it. And in particular, one, The Land of Counterpane. I loved it as a kid. It was just so visual, with the soldiers on the bed and stuff. Yeah. So, and my grandparents were also really quite into just literature, poetry, just generally being daft with words, making it fun. Yeah.
I like it.
Sky pink with a yellow border was a classic.
Brilliant. Oh, wow. That's absolutely amazing stuff. So now, brilliant. Well, when we got talking last week, I believe this was, through Helen Darby. First of all, hi, Helen. Thanks for the referral this before we start. I don't know if you know what you set off here with the chain of the explosion events, but we'll come on to that another day. But yeah, when we got talking, Helen, obviously, before we come on to the festival, I think we should really tell people about, I've been listening today to one of your radio programs, which I've really enjoyed as well, particularly when you started playing Scott Walker on it, that's always winning with me. But obviously over at Dark Peak Radio. So I think we should talk about that before we move on to the festivals. What bits and pieces you've got planned.
Okay. Yeah, well, a friend, how that came about was I've got lots and lots of vinyl, loads of singles and loads of albums. A lot of them are inherited from my parents, and I thought it'd be really nice to do a one deck vinyl night with using my dad's old records. So I asked my mate if he had a record player, and he said no, but would you fancy having a go at doing a radio show, because he did one. So I was like, yeah, all right then. And it kind of sprung from that I started doing the show about a year and a half ago now. But because I like whatever I do, there's got to be a lot of fun in it. So immediately I was like, oh, I want to have a sketch show, and I want it to have a agony aunt, and I want to have a shopping forecast. So it's got lots of slightly daft elements that run through it, as well as amazing music. Very eclectic, very all the genres you could ever imagine, and more, like sort of. But my sketch show, I don't always do that. It's called Three Salons. That I didn't realise at the time that Caroline Ahern had watched the same documentary. Anyway, that's about the Three Salons. And that for me, my whole radio show hangs on this 1.5 minute little sketch that's me and my friends just being ridiculous, basically. So so I do that.
Got to ask you. I have to ask you, if obviously we've been a vinyl program, what Scott Walker LPs have you got then on vinyl?
You're not going to like this answer.
Not a lot.
None.
I wasn't sure that was one of the shows.
I don't have any Scott Walker on vinyl, I sort of discovered him not that long ago, probably like 10 years ago, and was like blown away, just through the radio, through hearing him on the radio. It wasn't something that I'd sort of got from my musical education from my mum and dad.
Mine was from my first girlfriend, actually. It was back when I was 21.
Wow,
and that was a long time ago. Well, yeah, it was a long time ago, that when she played to me, oh God, Scott Ford, I think it was, and I heard Boy Child and Seventh Seal. It just absolutely blew me away. It did. I was just absolutely stunned by it. Really, really stunned.
But I love that about music, how because I love listening to the radio myself, like just how you catch something and you're like, and then it just opens another treasure trove and another load of routes into different things, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, a lot of music I've gone through over time. It's everything tends to, and this is what I think is really interesting. Is like a lot of accidents, and this happens with the creativity as well. And I suspect it's probably the same with you, a lot what you've done as well. That's why everything's. Sometimes one thing leads to another. I think that's why we can come on to the festival things now, because I get the impression that was a little bit of an accident as well.
Totally, yeah. Because I mentioned to you just before, didn't I, about how I heard Helen doing some of her poetry a good few years ago and was blown away. Then ended up talking to her about would they like to do a poetry night, and that was sort of Christmas time. And then Helen got back in touch with me about would I be interested in hosting a spoken word tent at One World Festival. I was like, yeah. I feel like saying yeah often leads to good stuff. So I thought, well, yeah, that'd be amazing. So yeah, that's what's led to us doing the One World spoken word tent together. Yeah,
it's brilliant. Now, obviously, we need to make people aware what is on One World Festival, because I've got the lineup for the spoken word tent. I don't know a lot else that's going on there, so you'll have to enlighten me what you know now.
Well, I don't know everything by any means, but I do know that there's a collective that are up in New Mills called High Peak Drum and Bass Collective, and they are involved with they're like a group of DJs. One of them's an MC as well. called Sai, who does do some spoken word stuff, but I think at One World he's doing his role as the MC with the High Peak Bass Collective. And then there'll be lots of local bands on as well, but I haven't actually got a list of the bands that are going to be on. And the other years leading up to this one, I've always been away when it's on, so it's a bit of I'm excited to actually be going to it this year, but then to be doing the tent as well is like an added thing. One of my friends is quite involved in sort of the festival. The guy that introduced me to doing the radio show, Archie Bremner. So I'm sure he'll be involved in doing some music. But I've not seen the actual lineup myself. Feel a bit remiss now.
What?
But I've not been given the details of it. I'll try and find them out.
What we could always ask you then is where is it going to be held?
Highley Park, which is when you first if you get the train into New Mills, there's 2 train stations in New Mills, but if you get in the train into New Mills Central, when you get off the train and then there's a little hill up, and then up to the left quite steeply, there's a big park there called Highley, and that's where the One World Festival is going to be held on there. Yeah, it's a good really good place. Yeah, it's a lovely space up there.
Looking forward to it. I'm just hoping the weather holds up because we know what the Great British Summertime is like.
I know, yeah. I mean, the good thing, we've been lucky, like they've all arranged for us to have a covered tent, which is great. So, you know, even if the weather is a little bit dodgy, I think it might attract a few more people to come over as well. Because and there's going to be hay bales for people to sit on as well. So it'll be cozy, I reckon.
Oh wow! Wow,
I think it's going to be
brilliant. Yeah, definitely that one. So, what time does it start then? Do you know that?
Let me just look at. Oh, the running order's just gone off. I think it's 12. I think it starts at 12 and it ends quite early. It's only on till 6 in the evening. But I'm sure there'll be stuff going on afterwards as well for those that want to carry it on into the evening.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be something going on. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. But yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, there will be, definitely. I'm just trying to get into my screen, you know, to check the sort of plan of the day. Yeah, so 12 through till 6 p.m. So it should be great. I think it's going to be very interesting. At the spoken word tent as well, we've got lots of sort of local entrepreneurs doing an open panel. There's people like representation from the Rock Mill Centre, which is a beautiful little community centre. The High Peak Bass Collective, they're represented at it. So they're closely linked with this other group called the Tent People, who have a patch of land sort of on the road to Hayfield, and they have like nice sort of dance events there that are quite sweet. Oh, Woolly Wanderers. They do all sort of they're like crochet bombing.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. Oh, and there's someone from there's a lovely little art studio called the Milestone that's up the hill. So they're going to be there as well. So there's going to be a discussion between that group of people. And then we've got a lovely local author called Joe Darlington, who I'm going to be interviewing, which will be fun actually. Oh, and a Q&A with him as well, question and answers section. And we've hopefully got someone called the General, who I love, who is a local musician and composer. Hopefully he's going to do a little section as well. And then there's all the other things as well that follow on. There's all the poetry stuff as well after it.
Yeah, sounds great fun.
And
poetry better tell people who's on the poetry or the spoken word tent. Because I've seen the running order. I know you have as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm there. I'm going to be doing hopefully 10 minutes of my own poetry. And then there's an Andy Cash. It says he's a comedian here, but we're not sure. He's a mysterious comedian.
I
May
think
or
he
may
might.
not be a comedian.
I'm not sure if it's the same one. It might be an unintentional comedian. So let's just move on there.
Brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. Sally Barrett.
I know
poet.
Sally. I know Sally because
Oh, do you?
I have met her. Yes, I don't really know her. I know her husband Richard Barrett because Richard runs
right.
he runs a night experimental poetry night in Manchester with Peter Barlow's Cigarette.
Oh, I like the name.
Yeah, and that's been going for some years. I don't know what Richard is now on his performing side of it. I don't think he is. I think he's retired from it. But his wife, I know Sally. She's done a few collections, so I met her once, twice. So yeah, she's very good, very good.
And then there's someone, I'm not sure who this is, an Andy N.
No, he's some random weirdo that lives in Denton. So don't come and watch him. He's unpredictable.
Not at all. And then there's Amanda Nicholson.
Oh, she's a genius. She is an absolute genius. So
I'm looking forward to hearing.
I would say that.
Tony Bolton.
No, I don't know Tony. Sorry, I can't help you there.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he's from up this way. He may be from up here. And then Tonka Bell, who is quite infamous, I think, for her spoken word stuff.
Yeah, she's interesting, Tonka Bell. She's interesting. She definitely is. Oh, no, I'm going to be careful. I say pronouns. They, I should say, straight away. Yeah. They. Okay. They are definitely a one-off. That's the best way to put it to you. Tonka Bell is definitely a punk poet in one way or another, definitely so with that one. So, yeah, I think I know who this Tony Bolton is, actually. Yeah, I think I found him. He's not a poet I know, but I think he's local. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Brilliant. So. And there's Faye Marshall as well. So, I'm not sure of who Faye Marshall is, but I would imagine they're pretty flipping good.
I think I found him actually, don't you, as well? Or I'm going to be. I presume it's a lady, right? So yeah, that's the best way to put it. Yeah, it looks like she is pretty. She's got a name, don't she? So yeah, looking forward to that definitely. So that's good. And what else is on that tent then during that day then?
Well, there's some musical interludes, and I think Matt G is doing the he's doing the organisation of that, and he's doing a few sections of musical bits. And then what else is going on? Let me just check. I'm not sure if I've lost it. It's gone. Wait, if I just click here, it'll come back up. We've got a lovely local individual who's comparing throughout called Ella N. They're really good. So I'm sure they'll be bringing their own particular brand of interesting to the proceedings, definitely. And then, yeah, it's just interspersed with like Matt, who's doing some musical, but I think he's curating, some beautiful piece of music in between. And then there's the panel where it's discussion with lots of different local organisations that I mentioned just before. And then there's myself speaking with Joe Darlington, and then that's going to get thrown out into a question and answers session. I'm fingers crossed the composer and the local musician who I love, and Joe Darlington's also a big fan of theirs as well. Hopefully they'll be performing. And then, Helen is going to be doing some of her poetry. Helen Darby is going to be doing her poetry, which I'm really looking forward to. I was really lucky to be invited to perform at a local opening night of a beautiful exhibition, and it's like an LGBTQ exhibition of artworks up at the Rock Mill Centre, where Helen performed some of their poetry that night. Oh, it was fantastic. It was just great. And I was lucky enough to, I mean, I'm normally don't really perform my poetry. It's quite new to me to be doing it, but I got to perform some of my work that night, along with a couple of other great performers. Yeah, so Helen's doing some of hers, so that'll be amazing. And then leading into the section where there's all the poets and comedians and writers that are doing their own sections that we mentioned before. So it's going to be a really good day. And I think I've got a feeling it'll go its own way rather than in the constraints that it actually is on paper. I've got a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun and quite interesting, I think. I think it'll spark some interesting questions and stuff.
I'm always a believer when you're doing like events like this, it never goes the way you want it to go. And that, I mean, you're right, that adds to the fun of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being part of this. So I mean, we better tell people what date it is first, because we haven't mentioned the date yet.
It's the 6th. I struggle saying the 6th. You know, the third on the 6th. I don't know why. But...
Saturday.
Anyway,
people wondering, Saturday, the 6th of July, Saturday. 2024. Yeah. Make sure people are aware of that. So yeah.
And it's 12 till 6 p.m. But there'll definitely be bits and bobs going on afterwards, I'm sure. And it's right near New Mills Central train station. So if you're coming in on the train, you get off at New Mills Central, and it's literally up the little cobbles and then up to the left across the little main road. Or there's the bus that comes into a little terminus in front of the Rock Mill Centre. And again, it's just up the hill, but it'll be signposted, and I'm sure there'll be some hefty musical noises coming from the park.
I think we'll be able to work it out when we arrive there, as everybody else will. So brilliant. Now, the last thing one I want to ask you about, Helen, obviously, Abi, is you were telling me before about these other events coming to the New Mills Festival, weren't you? You've got something in mind, haven't you, over possible two events? Yeah. So tell us about these then, because I don't know if you've got dates penciled in for these yet, but we can drop hints, I suppose.
Well, yeah. I've spoke to the people at New Mills Library, and they are happy to host an early evening of poetry. They're always open late on a Thursday anyway. So I think it's the 19th of September that they've got it earmarked that there's going to be a poetry evening in the library, or a spoken word event called For the Love of Libraries. And I'm hoping that people will come along and share their words in relation to how their love of libraries has developed and maybe shaped or guided them in some ways in their creative endeavours. And that's come from the fact that I just think libraries are amazing. And I just thought, what a beautiful place to host an event that would be. So they're happy to have me doing it. So that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've done a support slot there for a book launch or somebody a couple of years ago. I think a year before lockdown. It's a great space of performing. Really, it should be a really great night, that. And you were telling me, obviously, you've not got a date penciled in, but tell us about the other idea you've got at the moment as well. Possibly something else as well.
Well, I'm hoping I've just reached out actually today to try and find out who to get permission from, because there's a community orchard in New Mills. It's just through the park, just through Highley Park, where the One World Festival is. There's a community orchard just off to the side, and I just thought it'd be quite beautiful to maybe have a sonnet in the orchard, like where people can meet. I'm hoping that's going to be a late Saturday afternoon, that one, because I just think a lazy, hazy, late summer afternoon in an orchard, just to share poems or words about maybe community and, just orchards and nature might be quite a beautiful thing. So I'm hoping they'll agree for that to happen. So for that one, it's quite in quick succession really, because Thursday's the 19th. I think it's the 21st of September on the Saturday.
Saturday
I'm hoping
night,
it's going to be on that day.
Well,
Yeah,
fingers
So,
crossed if you with the weather then on that one, definitely.
yeah. In my mind, it's going to be great.
Well, the suggestion I would give everyone attending that one is I'm sure it'll be wonderful, it'll be a lovely event. But take an umbrella.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion. Definitely. Oh, that's brilliant stuff. Good luck with all those events, Abby, definitely. So, okay, but I want to do a wrap up because I know you want to do a few points for us in the second half anyway, let people get a flavour for your style. So,
Okay.
obviously, first of all, then, where can your radio program be found online?
Oh, well, it's online. It's an online radio station, and it's Live 365. And then, so if you put Dark Peak Radio Live 365 into your search bar, it'll definitely find it. Or if you've got a device, like Alexa or something, I'm sure if you said Live 365 Dark Peak Radio, it would find it that way. And my
Cool.
show is on every other Sunday, and it's called After Country File, because usually it is on After Country File, but occasionally, like when the football's on, or they've got a special Antiques Roadshow, it's right in the middle of the Antiques Roadshow or something like that instead. But yeah, it's called After Country File.
Brilliant.
7 till 9.
Brilliant.
Sunday.
Okay. The other question we need to ask you as well is, so if people want to find out more information about the One World Festival, where do you recommend they go?
More information? Oh, definitely Facebook. I know there'll be stuff on there. I presume, yeah, because I know on my own thread there's things that are. So if you type in One World Festival, New Mills, and like it, then it'll come up on your thread. I don't have Instagram, but I presume they'll be sort of promoting ideas about it on Instagram as well, I would have thought. So it'll be One World Festival, New Mills on there as well, I would think.
Brilliant. Yeah,
hope.
I've just found it, to honestly, to confirm that live. Yes, that's correct. And if people want to get in contact with you, Abby, and offer you £1 million for doing nothing, where do you recommend they go?
Well, anyone can find me on Facebook. I'm just there. My name's Abigail Williams.
Yeah, I found it.
They can send me a message on the messenger thing on there. That's probably the easiest way, isn't it?
Yeah, it probably is.
And if
Definitely.
not, they could send me smoke signals. I work quite well with
them. Brilliant stuff. Okay, Abby, what we'll do, we'll wrap up on one last thing. You got to do a couple of poses in the second half, but this has been grateful. I've actually really enjoyed this today.
Me too as well. It's been great.
Hang around, everybody. We shall be back in 2 shakes of the ice. See you in a minute.
Okay.
Spoken Label.
Hey guys, at the end, Spoken Label. My friend, Abigail Williams. I've called her formally now. It's Abi Williams, really, but I like calling her Abigail. She's on the festival as Abigail Williams, so you can say you pick either Abi Williams or Abigail Williams, depending on what mood you're in. Anyway, Abby. Abby could do 2 points for us. Take it away, my friend.
Oh, thank you. So I've literally just written this poem because I was looking up sonnets and realised that they have to have 14 lines. Very Shakespearean. So this one's called Orchard. I remember walking through the gate, greeted by trees loaded with apples, all russety reds, blushes and kissed with sunlight, brushed with late afternoon heat, the fallen fruit half open, gaping with soft overly sweet, dining for Red Admiral, the buzz almost electric.
That's
I delve further. Oh, there's a bit more, That's like the first bit there. I delved further, Maxwell's equation, or at least the illusion, the apiary, what a magical sensory feast. the olfactory bulb lit in the basement of grey matter, the beekeeper sorting wasps from honey trap, and behind the hives, the almost perfect fruit just out of reach. That's it.
Apologies there. Sorry, I should know that. I should know sonnets there as well. This is when you've paused then I thought, oh, was she finished?
Yeah.
That's me. Apologies. So you see, unprofessionalism at its best then, me was completely misjudging things. So, you know what it is, Abby? After hearing your radio programme, I think you've infected me today for causing chaos there. I have got to ask you now about sonnets, and obviously, before we go into your other piece, where did your love of sonnets come from?
Well, I think, just because they're so sort of romantic, isn't it? I mean, that's not particularly romantic, but there is a lot of romantic love behind. I do really, love orchards, and the fact that it's a community orchard, so it's a very loving poem, but the words aren't actually that loving within it. But I am a romantic soul. People might raise their eyebrows when they hear that said, but yeah, I just love the sort of the claiming of your feelings for whatever it is that you feel love for, whether it be an orchard or a piece of art that you love looking at or another human being. It's I just think it's great to try and encapsulate it in words. There's something quite beautiful about that.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's a wonderful piece. So anyway, I've just said before, I've got a catchphrase here as well. Less of me, more of you. So it's back to you for poem number 2.
Okay. Well, this is another nature poem. And I'll just read it. It's called Hawthorne Effect. A magnificent beast, bedecked in the finery of Mayflower, with symbolism, with love and protection, from root to tip, the effect of being observed, a little akin to a 3D hologram projected into cones and rods of the hard-driven need for nurture. And I wrote that not this spring, the spring before, because the hawthorn was amazing. It was just like an explosion. Like, it was much more subdued this year, but it was particularly vibrant the spring of 23. So that's my love for the hawthorn.
Yeah, it's really colourful, that poem, to be honest with you. Yeah, but you're right, it has been a bit bobbins this summer. So far, that's been nicely. But yeah, no, I've got really the colour now. That's a nice contrast to your first piece as well, that'd be so excellent stuff.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to you do 10 minutes of it on stage yet in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a good route through, and I'm gonna make it fun. That's all I'm gonna say. I've got a lovely dress as well. I can't wait to wear.
I'm coming down the shell suit anyway, so just to really drag it. No, I'm not. If I come down to the shell suit, I'll be getting divorced. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm looking forward to that, and I look forward to meeting you in person in a couple of weeks' time, definitely. So everyone, come along in July. That's the first Saturday in July. Saturday the 6th of July, was it?
Yeah.
12 and 6. 12 till 6, yeah. We're going to have a hoot, right? I promise you that now. Rain or shine. Let's hope for lots of shine, definitely. So that one. So thank you again, Abby. It's been a pleasure. Listen, hang around. I do need to touch on Mike anyway, so thank you again, Abby.
Thank you.
Okay, guys and people. Yeah, that's it for Spoken Labour today. There was a bonus episode today. Yes, it's been great fun this as well. So as Don Callis over at AEW Wrestling says, stay safe. And we'll probably say damn over. We'll see you all next time.
Spoken Labour.